MLB labor talks. Bryce Harper, Manfred Confrontation shows cooler heads must prevail. The tension between MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred and star player Bryce Harper is revealing the complexities of labor negotiations in Major League Baseball. As the 2026 Collective Bargaining Agreement, CBA, nears its end, the recent confrontation between the two has sparked debate over how to navigate the evolving landscape of baseball's financial and operational structure. The incident, reported by ESPN and The Bandwagon, highlights the growing friction between players and management, particularly around the contentious topic of a salary cap. But here's where it gets controversial. When the commissioner, Rob Manfred, reportedly told Harper to get the expletive out during a meeting, it underscores the challenge of balancing player demands with the league's financial realities. The 8-time All-Star's aggressive rhetoric while drawing attention was met with a measured response from the commissioner, who refused to leave the locker room, suggesting a broader struggle within the organization. The meetings this year have centered on the impending expiration of the CBA, which sets the stage for a new agreement by December 2026. Harper's demand for the commissioner to address the salary cap implementation, despite his apparent calm demeanor, has raised eyebrows. Players like Nick Castellanos, a veteran outfielder, voiced concerns about the lack of transparency regarding the league's financial structure, emphasizing that the players themselves are largely unaware of the intricacies of the media deals that underpin their compensation. This gap in knowledge is particularly troubling, as the commissioner's ability to address player concerns hinges on a clear understanding of the revenue streams that support the league. The controversy deepens when considering the commissioner's recent statements about the salary cap, which have been met with skepticism. While Manfred claims to be laying the groundwork for future negotiations, critics argue that the league's current financial situation, including the uncertainty surrounding the television rights deals, makes it difficult to implement a cap without significant compromise. The media environment, particularly at the local level, is also a critical factor, as the commissioner emphasized the importance of selling games nationally and adapting to the changing streaming landscape. However, the complexity of organizing regional and national broadcasting rights, especially with major networks like Turner and Fox expiring in 2028, complicates efforts to establish a sustainable revenue model. Castellanos' remarks, which suggested the players may have more questions than they realize, highlight a broader theme of uncertainty. The commissioner, meanwhile, faces pressure to demonstrate leadership, but his limited knowledge of the league's financial framework raises questions about his ability to guide the talks effectively. If Manfred truly intends to resolve the disputes, he may need to prioritize transparency and collaboration over unilateral decisions. As the CBA deadline approaches, the stakes have never been higher, and the outcome of these negotiations will shape the future of Major League Baseball for years to come. Bryce Harper confronts Rob Manfred. Tense MLB salary cap discussion, ESPN. Picture this, a high-stakes showdown in a Phillies clubhouse where one of baseball's biggest stars stood up to the man in charge of the entire league. But here's where it gets controversial. This wasn't a movie scene. It was real, raw, and packed with tension. Sources close to the situation told ESPN that Philadelphia Phillies legend Bryce Harper didn't hold back during a heated meeting with MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred last week. Harper, known for his fiery personality and 2-time NL MVP accolades, reportedly told Manfred to get the f*** out of our clubhouse if the league wanted to push for a salary cap. This explosive exchange didn't just highlight a personal clash. It exposed a deeper rift in baseball's future. And this is the part most people miss. The salary cap debate isn't just about money. It's about power, fairness, and the soul of the game itself. The meeting, part of Manfred's annual outreach to all 30 teams, turned into a 60-minute battle of wills. While Manfred never explicitly used the term salary cap, the discussion about the league's financial structure clearly hit a nerve with Harper. After years of relative silence on labor issues, Harper, backed by his longtime agent Scott Boras, has become a vocal representative for players who fear a cap would tip the scales in favor of wealthy owners. MLBPA leaders, including Executive Director Tony Clark, argue that a cap would be institutionalized collusion, stifling competition and harming smaller market teams. But here's the twist. Some owners, like Baltimore's David Rubenstein, see a cap as a way to level the playing field. Who's right? And should players even care? Tell us in the comments. As the collective bargaining agreement, CBA, nears its 2026 expiration, the pressure is mounting. Harper's outburst wasn't just a rant, it was a signal. If you want to talk about a cap, he allegedly said, you can't do it here. Manfred pushed back, emphasizing the need to address threats to MLB's business model. The tension escalated until veteran outfielder Nick Castellanos stepped in, diffusing the moment with a simple, "I have more questions." Yet the underlying message was clear. Harper and his peers aren't backing down. That's Harp, Castellanos later told ESPN. He's been like this since he was 15. It's just another day. But what's really at stake? To understand, you need to rewind to 1994. The last players' strike, which canceled the World Series, was sparked by similar arguments about salary caps. Now, with franchise valuations soaring and luxury tax payrolls ranging from the Dodgers' $400 million to the Marlins' $86 million, the divide feels even wider. Harper and others argue that a cap would prioritize profit over parity. Yet Manfred's recent comments, floating the idea of a lockout, years before the CBA expires, have players bristling. You don't just throw out divorce in a marriage, Castellanos said. It's not fair. Still, not everyone is convinced. Some fans and analysts wonder, could a salary cap actually help smaller teams compete? Or is it just another way for owners to tighten their grip on the game? The truth, as always, lies in the numbers. MLB reported over $12 billion in revenue last year, while player share remains a contentious topic. Castellanos admits players aren't experts in business strategy, but they're learning. We're not evil, he insists. No one wants a work stoppage. Yet with Manfred's meetings and the looming 2027 season, the question remains. Will compromise save baseball, or will it tear it apart? The answer could define the sport for decades. What do you think? Share your take below. Bryce Harper's heated confrontation with MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred. When it comes to protecting the sanctity of private conversations, few things stir as much debate as what happens behind closed clubhouse doors. But here's where it gets controversial. Should players air their grievances publicly, or should everything stay within the confines of team discussions? That's the dilemma at the heart of a recent incident involving Phillies superstar Bryce Harper and Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred. In a report by ESPN's Jeff Passan, details emerged about a heated exchange between Harper and Manfred during a meeting in the Phillies clubhouse. According to sources who were present, Harper didn't hold back when addressing Manfred, even going so far as to tell him, "Get the f*** out of our clubhouse." It was an intense moment, one that underscores just how passionate players can be when discussing issues like the potential implementation of a salary cap, a topic that has sparked fierce opposition from the Players Association while gaining traction among some owners. But why does this matter? For starters, the current collective bargaining agreement is set to expire on December 1st, 2026. With multiple owners pushing for a salary cap, tensions are mounting over whether such a move would benefit the sport or harm its competitive balance. On one side, proponents argue that a cap could level the playing field. On the other hand, critics, including many players, believe it would undermine the value of top talent and disrupt the fabric of the game. Harper himself has chosen to remain tight-lipped about the specifics of the confrontation. Speaking before a game against the Chicago White Sox, he emphasized his focus on baseball rather than rehashing the details of the meeting. "I don't think it does any good for anybody to have that happen. Harper said. For me, I'm just trying to worry about baseball, trying to worry about everything in here. I think right now, that's where I'm at as a player. While Harper avoided elaborating further, teammate Nick Castellanos offered some insight into the intensity of the situation. In Passan's report, Castellanos described the interaction between Harper and Manfred as pretty intense, definitely passionate. He added, both of them, the commissioner giving it back to Bryce and Bryce giving it back to the commissioner. This isn't surprising behavior from Harper, according to Castellanos, who noted that Harper has been fiercely advocating for himself and others since he was just 15 years old. Interestingly, Castellanos also weighed in on why he believes a salary cap shouldn't be introduced to baseball. While he didn't divulge more details about the meeting itself, his comments reflect a broader sentiment shared by many players, namely, that imposing a cap could stifle innovation and discourage top-tier athletes from pursuing careers in MLB. Despite the drama, Harper remains adamant about keeping internal discussions private. When asked about sharing his thoughts with the media, he responded firmly, I've talked labor, and I've done it in a way that I don't think I need to talk to the media about it. It has nothing to do with media or anybody else. It's what we can as players and owners and everybody else to come together to try to make this game great. Manager Rob Thomson echoed this sentiment, emphasizing the importance of confidentiality within the clubhouse. Though he wasn't present during the meeting, which reportedly lasted about an hour, he made it clear that whatever is discussed in such settings stays there. Even if I was in the room, Thomson stated, I think everybody in here understands my stance on clubhouse meetings, which is that whatever is said in there stays in there. So, what does all this mean for the Phillies, and for baseball as a whole? Is this a sign of growing distrust within clubhouses? Or could it serve as a unifying force for teams navigating complex negotiations? Only time will tell. One thing is certain, though. Conversations around salary caps and labor disputes aren't going away anytime soon. And this is the part most people miss. The ripple effects of these debates often extend far beyond the immediate parties involved. As fans, how do you feel about the idea of a salary cap in baseball? Do you think transparency in clubhouse discussions helps or hurts team dynamics? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.